Hello and welcome to my bedroom. Ignore the size of my bed. And if you're new here, welcome to my channel. My name's Sarah, and I've been in remission from borderline personality disorder for over 2 years. I have a cat named Lolita, and she's currently here because it's her bedroom too. I've been having some health issues lately. I got blood work done today. I've been feeling really weak and fatigued, so it's been hard for me to even sit at my desk for long. Sometimes when I'm not feeling well, I record from a comfy spot on my floor, but I didn't feel like wasting any energy setting that up. So today, we're in Sarah's sleep spot. I bought this desk specifically so I could edit in bed while using my mouse. I call it bedditing. I'm going to come back to my BPD myths and misconceptions series when I'm feeling a little better. Oh, she wanted some personal space. But today I want to talk about a single sentence that I've been thinking about a lot lately. That sentence is, there's no cure for BPD. I spend a lot of time studying various resources and reading the BPD subreddits, and I come across variations of this sentence at least 5 times a day. It bothers me. It is true that there's no cure for borderline personality disorder, but that statement can be kind of misleading, which is why it's hard for me to even say it without using air quotes. So today I want to talk about what this statement really means and why I think we should stop saying it, or at least be a little more careful and specific when we do. My recording keeps stopping randomly, so that's not a good sign. First, we need to start by defining the term cure, because it's not always used correctly. When an illness or condition is cured, the health problem has gone away completely, and whatever was causing it is no longer present, so the problem won't return, even without further treatment. At least it won't return because of the same source. So for example, if you had a bacterial infection, you could take antibiotics, and if they worked as intended, it would get rid of that bacteria, and your infection would be cured. You could still get another infection, but it wouldn't be from that same original bacteria. Or if you have appendicitis, you could get your appendix removed and boom, you're cured. Cured. These conditions can be cured because they have a straightforward source, and we have effective treatment to completely eradicate that source. But many medical conditions can't be cured because the source isn't as straightforward, or it can't be eradicated in the same way. But that doesn't mean those conditions can't be treated or that symptoms can't go away. Say you have GERD or chronic acid reflux. If you actually do, I feel for you because I do too, and it sucks. GERD is considered chronic, but it's possible to no longer have symptoms if you take medication and/or make certain diet or lifestyle changes. But even if you never had another symptom for the rest of your life, it still wouldn't be considered cured because it could have flared back up under different conditions. So back to our original sentence. There's no cure for BPD. My first issue with saying this to people who are newly diagnosed or uninformed is that it may seem like the lack of cure is unique to BPD, but it's not. Mental health conditions generally can't be cured. For symptoms to improve, they require certain conditions, which can include lifestyle changes, medication, therapy, or other treatments. This camera is getting frustrating. Even when people say this sentence and then specify that symptoms can improve despite there not being a cure, many times they say that symptoms can be managed but will always remain, which is not necessarily true. You can lose symptoms. When symptoms reduce to the point where you no longer meet the diagnostic criteria for a condition for a significant period of time, it's considered to be in remission. You may hear people, including me, talk about BPD remission, but the same thing's possible with major depressive disorder, generalized anxiety disorder, bipolar disorder, etc. It is an established medical term even if it's not used too often. So you'll never hear me say that I'm cured of BPD, even though I don't really have the diagnostic symptoms anymore. Because I know that I could quit self-care, get back into toxic relationships, resort to unhealthy coping mechanisms and addictions and self-sabotage, and live at war with myself all over again. It's possible I could undo all the changes I've made to my brain and my life. It is possible for me to meet the diagnostic criteria again, but I'm confident I won't. I see people say that even when symptoms get better or someone achieves remission, BPD will always come back when triggered. I don't think this has to be true. Relapse does happen, and it's happened to me in the past. But I believe you can get to a point in growth and healing and understanding yourself where you can gain full control over whether or not that happens with BPD. I've dealt with some major challenges and triggers during my remission, and there were times where I felt like I was losing that control and starting to spiral. But this core part of myself that I've strengthened wouldn't let that happen. If I were convinced that no matter what, my BPD was going to come back, maybe I would have given up that control because I would have figured that it was inevitable anyway. Those kinds of beliefs can be self-fulfilling prophecies, which is why I want everyone to be careful about what they tell themselves and others about the potential for recovery. Just because there's technically no cure doesn't mean you always have to live with BPD. The sentence usually doesn't have to be said at all. I do see some people directly asking about a cure or saying they've heard there isn't one, so I have a suggestion if you ever find yourself in one of these conversations. Start by saying that recovery is possible and that you can lose symptoms and live a better life, something along those lines. Then you could acknowledge that there isn't technically a cure and explain why if you want. People often stick to the very first thing you say, so please lead with positivity. Little differences in how we talk about BPD can make a big difference. Hope is essential for recovery, and I'd love to talk more about hope right now, but I'm spent. So is Lolita. I'll save it for another day. But I do hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like if you did. And if you use Reddit and are interested in learning more about remission and recovery, I hope you'll join the subreddit I moderate called r/BPD Remission. It's grown a lot over the past few weeks. We now have over 400 members. Yay! And it's incredible seeing people sharing their success stories and celebrating improvements and providing support and advice to people who are struggling. So thank you to everyone who's been participating there. And thank you for watching till the end of this video. I hope to see you in the next one. Peace. Awesome.